Dr. Show, the Dr. Winnie King Show, every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. We're going to talk about everything that has to do with your health and wellness on 1230 KCOH The Source. Good with that music. Oh my gosh, Paris, I love it, love it, love it. Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Winnie King, and you are listening to the Dr. Winnie King Show, and I hope that you all have a nice yellow here at the station. It's fabulous. Hi everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's looking like a rain-soaked day, but with all the heat that we've had lately, that's not kind of like good news, you know. I want to give a shout out to Larry and Layla and my staff. They're fabulous. Lady, Sherry, Almisha, and Alex, and Eddie, and Wayne. All you guys are the bomb, and I couldn't do what I do if it were not for you. But this show is for you guys, all of you that are listening, and I'm grateful for all of you that listen to this show. And I'm here for you. This is a call-in show. Of course, I've got things that I'm prepared to talk about, but I'm happy to take any questions that you have. And so if you've got a question, this is a great time to call. The number to call is 713-668-1230. Again, that's 713-668-1230. And there's no such thing as a silly question. Any question that you've got is a good question, because I guarantee you there's probably 100 people that have the exact same question. And so it's not going to be just for you. It's going to be for everybody. You know, as we start the show, I just got to make a comment. I've made this before, and I've just got to make it again. Y'all drive crazy here in Houston. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, literally going from one side of the city to the other, you'll run into at least 2 car accidents. And I'm just amazed at how crazy people drive in this city. And, you know, some of these accidents result in fatalities. You know, please slow down. Stop this driving in and out, cutting people off. You know, listen, if you need something to cool you out, call me. I'll give you like a Zoloft or something, you know. But honestly, it's not going to do you any good to arrive at your destination a minute faster than if you had just followed the speed limit, slowed down, showed some courtesy. You know, I think that's the thing that I see missing. Courtesy. If you see somebody that's trying to drive, trying to go in front of you, let them go. It's not going to kill you to let them go. You'll be okay. Trust me. Take a deep breath. You don't know what's going on with them. You don't know where they're trying to get to. They could have a grandma in the hospital. They're trying to get there. Just don't get so personal when it comes to the driving. You know, back a million years ago when I was taking driver's ed in school, I don't even think they do that now anymore. But, you know, the one thing they used to say is you want to arrive alive. And so I'm sure that people who've had horrible car wrecks have looked back on it, and whatever foolish thing they did, they thought about it and said, you know what? If I had just kept my cool, I wouldn't have my car jacked up, my car insurance messed up, you know, I mean, and my physical health in jeopardy just to let somebody go. So I hope this isn't falling on deaf ears. You know, I speak not only as a person who lives in the Houston area, but also as an ER physician for over 25 years. And I've seen some really horrific things in the emergency room from people driving crazy and just being discourteous and cutting people off, zigzagging in and out of traffic, just pushing the edge, driving 20, 30 miles over the speed limit. You know, sometimes I'm driving down I-45 and I'll look up and there's like a caravan of people going 100 miles an hour. I'm like, what are you doing? And where is it that you think you've got to get to that is so important that you're willing to put your life and the life of other people at risk? You know, if you want to drive that fast, then get on a speedway, you know, there are places where you can drive like that, but this is a road for consumers, and it is not designed for you to drive 100 miles an hour. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I've seen it, and just horrific, crazy, crazy stuff that I've seen. It's almost impossible for me to drive down the freeway and not see at least one accident. You know, you just sort of plan for it in your planning when you're going somewhere that you're going to run into something that's going to make you stop. and you're going to be stuck in traffic, and then you got all the looky-loos, people looking by, trying to see, and it'll add another 10, 15 minutes, to your travel, simply because of a stupid accident. And you can tell when you pass the accident, somebody was doing something stupid, and they miscalculated something and ran into the back of somebody or caused somebody to run into the back of them. Just please, people. I mean, I know I may be belaboring the point, but honest to God, there is nothing more heartbreaking than, as an ER physician, having to call the family of somebody who's died in a senseless car accident, and to have to tell them that their loved one is gone when they had no idea they were in jeopardy. They didn't even know. And that's the worst thing in the world. The one thing that you learn real quick in emergency medicine is that death is final. When that happens, there's nothing I can do. I can't help you at that point. And so much of what I've seen over the years could have easily been prevented if people had just not lost their minds, got offended when somebody sped by you, like, oh, I'm going to catch them and I'm going to get in front of them. Just stop all that foolishness. It's really, it really could possibly save your life. Now, if you've got a question, the number to call is 713-668-1230. Again, that's 713-668-1230. And I'm going to be talking about obesity and a fabulous weight loss program that I have in my practice. But I think we've got a caller on the line, so let's take our first call. Hey, caller, how are you?
Doc, you're not belaboring the point. You need to talk about it a little bit more. That's the reason they have speed limits, because just in case you do run across the problem, you have enough time to slow down.
Yes.
But even driving in the slow lane, these people are all on your bumper and stuff. I'm like you. I just don't understand it. And the weather we having like right now, rainy and stuff, is like they drive even worse.
Yes. You're
never
right.
see the police around either. But anyway, Doc. Oh, Doc.
You're the cops when you need them, right?
Yeah, they never seem to be around. Hey, but Doc, the question I got is kind of gross, but you're a doctor.
All right.
I noticed, like, when I'm on a more of a plant-based diet, like I am now,
okay,
or in comparison to when I'm not on a plant-based diet, I just eat junk. But we all have to go to the restroom.
Yes.
And I notice when I'm on a more plant-based diet, the aroma is not bad. I mean, but when I'm on like a regular kind of junk diet, man, it's kind of rough coming out of that diet.
So what you're trying to tell me is that your poop don't stink?
But what I'm saying, when I'm on a plant-based diet, it don't stink as bad. I mean, what causes that?
Well,
What's the difference between the two?
There are certain things that are created by the breakdown of products that you eat. And so when you're eating a more animal-based diet, you're going to create different compounds in the stool, and there's an aroma associated with that. A clean, that's why we call plant-based more of a clean diet, because it doesn't really create the same kinds of breakdown products that you will experience, when you're eating the meat. Meat is meat. I mean, and it's certainly not necessarily a bad thing, but eating more plant-based is certainly healthier. And you can also tell that you'll have more regular bowel movements when you're eating plant-based, more gratifying bowel movements. The less carbohydrate, when you start taking the fiber out of your diet, that's when you start seeing a slowdown in the production of stool and how well that you're able to have a bowel movement every day. Everybody's gut is different, but there are some people that don't get enough fiber in their diet, and so they won't have a bowel movement for like 3 or 4 days. That's not good. That means that there's something going on with the diet. You're just not getting enough fiber in your diet. Fiber is critically important. It is the bomb when it comes to gut health. And when I see patients that have a condition called diverticulitis, that means that these are folks who are not getting enough fiber in their diet. Actually, just having diverticulosis means that you're not getting enough fiber. Now, let's talk about what that is. Diverticulosis is a condition where the wall of your colon gets weak. And the reason that it does that is because it's not being exercised, believe it or not. In order for food to pass through your gut, the bowel has to kind of contract and open up, and that's how it pushes the food through. Well, the more fiber that you eat, the stronger your gut is, because believe it or not, your gut has muscle around the outside of it. And that muscle is what squeezes back and forth and pushes the stool through. Now, if you're not getting, I'm sorry, go ahead. You have a question?
No. I want you off the line, but I'm agreeing with everything you said, because like when I'm eating more fiber and more plant-based, it's less straining too.
That's right.
You can go to the restroom and be through in about 5 minutes.
That's exactly
but when you're on the bag, you're on the stall in 30 minutes.
That's right.
Wait for it to come out. But this is my last question. I hang up and listen. Back in the 90s, I used to have some friends, and they used to sell these little capsules and stuff. They used to call them herbs or herbal capsules or something. Okay. And when you took them, you better be close by a restroom. Do you think those things are legitimate today? Because I see so many people that's overweight and obese, and I'm saying some of the stuff, they're not going to the restroom enough. All that stuff is trapped inside of them. Can you kind of talk about that too, also, Dr. Winnie? And I'll hand off the list.
Okay, and thank you for calling in.
Yes, ma'am.
Capsules that have a high concentrations of fiber can be very helpful. And there are many products you can buy over the counter that are loaded with fiber. And so I'd have to know exactly what was in what you're referring to in order to really speak to that. But in general, when you're taking a supplement that's loaded with fiber, that's going to help. Now, with the diverticulosis, just to kind of finish that out, because there may be some of you wondering about that when you don't have enough fiber in your diet, the wall of your intestines, especially your large intestine, can become weak. And when it becomes weak, you get these little pockets that sort of pooch out in your colon. And that in and of itself tells us you're not getting enough fiber. But what's even more concerning is that in some cases, when you have those little pooks, in your colon, if you eat something like, say, peanuts or popcorn, where as it goes through your colon is little tiny seeds, they can get caught in one of those little pooches and then set up an inflammation. And that's called diverticulitis. Okay, so you've got to have diverticulosis, first of all, which is the weakening of the wall, which causes those little poops. And then if something gets caught in one of those, that's called diverticulitis. And that is a very painful condition, belly pain, blood in the stool, very, very uncomfortable. Most of the time we can treat this in the hospital and people will recover, and then we'll advise them, to start embracing a more higher fiber diet and to stay away from eating products with seeds in them. But in some cases, that little inflammation and that little pooch out can actually pop and burst open. And then that's when it causes something way more serious. That's an inflammation of the bowel, because what's in your colon is bowel products. So if it pops, then some of those bowel products can get into your belly. And that's really, really bad. So people in that case are sometimes looking at having surgery. So that's just to finish out that whole thing. But what it boils back down to is that a diet that's high in fiber is really going to protect you from having that problem. So if you're not getting enough fiber, you need to be getting about 30 grams a day at least, then you need to take a look at that. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to embrace a plant-based diet. You'll notice that there's no fiber in meat. Now, meat tastes great, and we all love it, but there is absolutely no fiber in meat. So if you're a big meat eater and you're like turning your nose up to vegetables, now that you got out of your mama's house, you swore you're never going to eat another bite of vegetables again. Well, you may not be seeing her, but you're going to see me or somebody like me at some point, because your bowel is going to act up. So you need to go get you some broccoli, some cauliflower, some salad, and start eating it. There's a reason for that. Not only the nutrients in the plants, but also the fiber. That's what's really important. And you can also take a fiber supplement. There's tons of them in the pharmacy. Just ask the pharmacist. You can buy it right over the counter. Okay, let's take our next caller. Hi, caller. How are you?
Hi, Dr. King. This is Almisha.
Ah, Almisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm so glad you called. You called me right on time. And we got Christine here, and so she's saying hey to you as well.
Hi, Christine.
Hello, hello. Almisha is a medical assistant who works in my practice, and she has been on the semaglutide or SG diet that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. And I wanted her to call in and to give her experience with it, and we can let her do that. And then once we're finished with her sharing her experience with it, then I can go into more detail about the diet and what it is. But it really boils down to taking a little tiny injection once a week of a medication called semaglutide. And this is a medicine that's the same drug that's in the drug Ozempic, which is used to treat type 2 diabetes, but in a much higher amount. And what it does is it really helps to affect the brain in a way where you lose your appetite, and it slows your gut down so that you feel full for a longer period of time. But Almisha, tell everybody what it's been like for you. You've been on it now for over 2 weeks. No, a week, and you just got your second injection yesterday.
Yes, and for me, it's been a good thing because I lost 7 pounds the first week, and I just knew, I was just like, how did I do that? But if I don't take it, I'll sit around and I'll eat it. I don't even be hungry, and I'll just be eating. So when I took the shot, it's like it took all the hunger or the want to eat. I don't even look at my refrigerator anymore. It's like I have to remember that I didn't eat that day.
Yes. So it takes away your desire. And do you feel like when you do eat something that you're full faster than when you would have been without the shot?
I do. And if I eat more, I'll feel enough. I'll feel like I want to throw it, but it's like, let me stop right now. Because I don't want to feel that way.
Yes. Well, you just had an experience with a burger. Is that right?
I did.
Tell me about the hamburger.
I went to Whataburger. No, I know better. That Whataburger is too big. And I found myself trying to eat the whole thing, and that's when I just felt so bad. I just knew I was going to be on the toilet, but I held it down, and I'm not going to do that again.
That's great. Well, congratulations on your 7 pounds. I see you every day, and you definitely look great. And you're on your way.
I can't wait to be to the house. So
congratulations, Misha. Congratulations. That's I talk about it, and people sometimes need to hear from someone else's experience what it's like. Are you uncomfortable at all with the medicine?
Oh no, I'm very comfortable. My back don't hurt as much like it was before.
So, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Amisha, thank you so much. What would you say to people out there who are listening and kind of wondering, I wonder if this might work for me? What would you say to them?
I would say you would never know unless you tried it. Don't miss something that's good for you if you need it.
Yes, that's right. And people have struggled with weight for years and years and years, and I know you have too. Gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight. So this is a whole different approach to weight loss. And the thing that's nice, we try to get patients to cut back on their calories, but the diet does that for you just by the way in which it affects your brain and how you feel. So congratulations, and you keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Misha.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
All right, Miss Kitty. All right, bye-bye. Okay. Do we have another caller on the line? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let's talk about that semaglutide. Now, Christine, you've been on semaglutide as well, and you are just disappearing right in front of my eyes.
Yes, I am.
Tell me what. Yes, I am. Tell me about it. How's it been for you?
Well, I agree with Misha 100%. My back doesn't bother me as bad. And I was coming into your office getting the treatments, MRM treatments and ozone therapy. I have all that for the back pain, and it all worked. But since I've lost the weight, I haven't been bothering you about those things anymore. I feel good. I think I'm down about 2 dress sizes now. Also, I mean, comfortable. Last week it was a little tight. This week now, so it's still loose.
So how do you feel when you're on it? When you get the shot, how does it feel for you?
I don't have a feeling, but I lose the desire to eat. I'm not hungry. And we talked about it last time. Sometimes I know when I need to eat something, I kind of feel a little headache coming on.
Right.
Okay, and I wonder what's wrong. And as soon as I get a few bites of something, I can't eat too much of anything anymore. But
that's what people say. That they just can't. They can't go that far.
I have friends that had the gastric bypass, and I didn't get it. I was thinking, okay, maybe she's a little extreme with it, but it's true. I find myself drinking more fluids than eating anything. Really.
Yeah, and that fills you up too.
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got some callers on the line. Let's take our next caller. Hi, caller. How are you?
Fine. How you doing, Dr. King?
I'm doing great. How can we help?
It was great about the plant-based because a lot of people that are called stuff that are vegan, they try to introduce people that want to become plant-based eaters, and sometimes it doesn't work for everybody. But the more eat vegetables and cut out the meat in your diet products, it's a lot better using the restroom. And also, I was at 260 when I started eating vegetables. I am now 229.
Oh, you go, Lord. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so what I really didn't want to call because I just want to compliment on what you were just talking about. But I want to call and say to all your listeners, happy belated birthday, lady.
Oh, thank you.
I saw on the friend's Facebook it was your birthday, Queen, and we are so happy to have you on KCOH Radio, giving out all this information to all the listeners to have that. So I wanted to surprise you and say happy birthday.
Thank you.
You are a beautiful, wonderful lady, and I just want to surprise you like you surprised me one day. So happy birthday, Dr. King. I'm going to let the other callers come in and hope they wish you happy birthday too, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, sweetie. I love you all, and I love you too, CJ.
Thank you.
All right.
That's so sweet. I'm so honored to share a birthday with Barack Obama. His birthday was yesterday as well, so that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay, let's go back to our phone lines. Our next caller is on the line. Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, I'm not a caller, but I just have to turn on my book and on the radio station. I heard you, but the reason why I'm calling is I have prostate cancer.
Okay.
And what I found is that what you're saying is actually true. I had I'm going to treat, and I skipped up and ate some beef tips, like 2 days. And the prostate treatment, your air area has to be clear,
Yes.
and you have to drink water, 30 minutes prior to and I noticed that I had to go to the restroom like I usually do.
Yeah.
So when they told me, they said, well, you still got fecal matter. And I'm like, oh. And I noticed my bowel movements were not straight.
Yeah.
So I switched to salad. Soon as I switched to salads, went back, no problem. And so during this treatment, that's all I'm going to eat.
Yes.
A salad.
Yes.
To help with that process, because during this process, I don't need no blockage.
That's right. You do not.
And with if everybody, if the plant-based salad, whatever. The one thing I noticed, everything that was meant for you to eat comes in its own package.
Mm-hmm.
Your fruit, your vegetables. You don't have to add nothing to it, you have to do anything to it.
Right.
But when you eat meat, you have to process that meat to make it taste good.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so it goes through a process. And that process is what's killing us, for us what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I noticed that everything that's meant for you, apples, oranges, in their own package, everything is great. You don't have to do anything to it.
Yeah,
And when
that's
you
right.
eat meat, in order for you to eat meat, you have to process it to make it taste,
That's right.
for your taste buds to accept
Mm-hmm.
it. And that right there, and I'm
Okay, so do you have a question for Dr. King?
I'm just passing on information to
Yeah.
go ahead and listen to what she's saying.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yes. Well, I'm
I don't
sorry
want
to hear
to
about
get in
your.
the same situation that I'm in.
Well, you know what? I'm concerned about your prostate cancer. And are you going to be having surgery, or are they going to do radiation?
No, I'm going through radiation treatment.
Going through radiation. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about the radiation treatment is that your area has to be clear because when they do that laser pinpoint stuff, and you really shouldn't let anybody have to shouldn't eat any meat whatsoever.
Yes. Well,
Because that, the blockage in your flow is not going to flow like it should, which is going to cause a problem, which is going to hurt your treatment.
right.
Yeah, I'm just passing on that information to go over what you're saying.
Yes. Well, I
about
appreciate that.
plant-based foods.
Well, I'm really happy that you've embraced that plant-based approach, and I'll be praying that all goes well with you with the radiation treatments. It's kind of a little scary when you're faced with a cancer of any type. but I'm just prayerful that all is going to go well with you. And definitely make sure, you embrace that plant-based, but also take time to relax, reduce your stress, meditate. All of those things really do help your immune system, which is what fights cancer. And so the more that you're able to relax, deprogram, meditate, you're going to help your body help itself. Okay?
Yeah, well, what I find is that, a lot of times, because where our life is, we tend to work a lot, be busy, and we don't take the time to sleep. And when we sleep is when our body
That's right.
repairs itself.
That's right.
And that's what I found that's helping me, is that because of this, I be tired. And
Right,
I
of course.
have to go to the restroom a lot.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the more I rest, like I said, when you have a fever, fever is really your body telling you,
That's exactly
because
right.
it cannot heal you
Right.
if you constantly busy.
Mhm.
So if you lay down and let your body take care of itself, you
That's
need
right.
rest, then your body can actually do what is, because the
What it's
doctor
supposed to do.
cannot heal a broken arm.
That's
Your
right.
body heals the arm.
That's right.
The doctor just sets it in place. The
Uh-huh.
body is the actual healer. I don't care what drug you take.
Mhm.
Your body is what heals itself.
Yes.
It's not the doctor.
Well, you have my
I just wanted
empathy.
to call the fact,
Well, I'm glad that you did. I've had family members that have, been through prostate cancer and survived, and I pray that the same is the case with you. And thank you so much for calling. And I will be thinking about you, and you just kind of let us know how things go down the road, okay? All right, let's take our next caller. Hey, caller, how are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for all the great information. I'm one of those old guys that I need that there's some shots maybe once a week. However, I want to share with you that several things. I take several medications, including metformin and amlodipine.
Okay.
And earlier this year, I had some stents put in my heart artery.
You had some stents put in,
Right,
okay.
having some issues that have resulted into blood in my stool that I'm going to have an endoscopy on the 17th
Okay.
to try to. So, with all that being said, can I still make an appointment to come see you and maybe get on the shot once a week?
Yes, I assume you're taking the metformin because of type 2 diabetes?
Yes,
Okay. And the amlodipine is for high blood pressure?
yes.
Okay. And,
And I have high cholesterol.
Oh, you do? Okay. About how much do you weigh?
About 230,
And how tall are you?
5'3",
Okay.
5'4".
5'4". Okay. So yeah, you've got some pounds that you need to get off of. Yeah. And that
Are
will
you telling
definitely, yeah. And that'll
Just
help
the doctor's order. Just the doctor's order. No offense.
And that's going to definitely help that type 2 diabetes and your hypertension and your cholesterol. All of those things will be positively impacted. But yes, by all means, call my office. I don't think I've given out my office number today, so let me do that. Do you have pen and paper handy?
You know what? It's Dr. King. Is that correct?
That's right. Uh-huh.
I
Dr.
have to
King.
know.
Well, you can Google me. I'm easy to find. If you just Google Dr.
So
Winnie King.
I listened before, excuse me for interrupting.
Uh-huh.
So I also definitely called you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm in Cyprus, but so far away.
Oh,
I'm
no.
the West-
You're not too far from me. Yeah, that's not far at all. I'm down right on 1960 and Red Oak, right near, not too far from the 45. So,
Oh, no, you're not that far then.
not at all. Yeah, well, just call. That's
Okay.
right. Yeah, no, I would be happy to meet with you and see what we can do. The office number for those of you listening that are interested is 936-224-7990. Again, that's 936-224-7990. And speak to Sherry or Mady at my office and get on my schedule. I'd be more than happy to meet with you and to explain the diet in more detail. I'm going to talk about it in just a moment, but it's a great diet for anybody who has an elevated body mass index or BMI over 30. People who are hypertensive, diabetic, high cholesterol, that are overweight are great for this diet. And we call it the SG diet in my practice. It stands for semaglutide. This is a medication that will stabilize your blood sugar, make your body start using up the energy that it has. It will give you a sense of fullness because it affects your gut to really give you a sense of fullness. So you don't really want to eat as much food as you used to. And it will also affect your brain to make you feel full. You know, that feeling that you have after you've eaten a Thanksgiving dinner and you just want to be shot, you know, because you just can't get out of the chair. You just want to can we all just take a nap right here at the table, you know? You know, because I just can't even physically get up, you know, that feeling. That's what, and you heard Almisha say that, you know, it's that feeling like you just can't really eat that much. You may have a little appetite, but then when you go to eat the food, you eat less than half.
You order the same way you used to order.
Yeah,
And
you can't
take it to go, you can't finish it.
That's right. And so what a lot of folks are finding is that even eating what we call quote unquote bad foods, they're still losing weight because they can only eat a bite of it.
A little bit. Yep.
You know, and I think that's really what makes this so much more tolerable because it's not as if you've got to just eat bird food, you know, because that's the typical thing with the diet is they tell you, okay, listen, you can have salad, you know, with fat-free dressing, and you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have this, you can't have that. And what a lot of folks are doing, well, listen, I'm definitely encouraging people to embrace low calorie, low carbohydrate diet. Plant-based is great. I find that people are still losing weight, even when they're eating foods that are the typical foods that they used to eat.
Because you just habitual food.
Right, habitual foods. Yeah, you just can't, you know, you just can't eat it. And so you'll find that just gradually you'll start seeing the weight come off just because you just can't eat it. And the researchers really refer to this diet as being almost like a bariatric surgery without the actual surgery because it gives you that same effect, you know, that you can't eat that much. And so it's an amazing diet. I'm going to just step away for a moment and take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about the cost, about the side effects, what to expect, who's a good candidate, and much more. And if you've got a question, now's a great time to call. The number to call is 713-668-1230. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Fred Hoy coming to you from.
All right, 30 minutes into the show, and I've learned a lot. So glad Almisha called in. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. All right, we're going to have a couple commercials here. I bet they'll last about 4 minutes. All right. I hear part of the commercial. Let's see where we are.
Offer bioidentical hormones, ozone therapy, Botox, fillers, sexual rejuvenation for men and women, laser therapy, microneedling, PRP, smart lipo, my medical grade skincare line, and more. Call my office at 936-224-7990. I can't wait to help you look and feel the way you've always dreamed. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to the Dr. Winnie King Show, and I am Dr. Winnie King, and I can't wait to tell you about the SG diet. This is a fabulous diet that can help you get control of your weight in a way that traditional diets, have not really been as effective. They've worked, and I've had patients that have lost weight doing other things, but there's something really special about this. It really, I think, is turning the corner to some degree when it comes to the management of weight and weight. It's a whole new realm, and researchers are extremely excited about the use of this drug. And there's another drug that's in the same class, and it is being looked at now by the FDA that's supposed to give significant weight loss. And the way this research was done, it was done with people over the course of a year. They gave people shots of varying doses of semaglutide. And they found over the course of a year that these people lost up to 20% of their body weight, which is pretty impressive. And they did it very comfortably. They tolerated the medicine very well. And when they compared this to the placebo group, the people who got a sugar pill, essentially, a sugar injection, the weight loss was night and day in terms of difference. And
because they was eating sugar.
They were eating sugar, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why am I gaining weight on this thing? I thought I was supposed to be losing weight. It's like, yeah, well, you got the wrong shot. But the thing that's really fabulous about it is the weight loss is so impressive, and it's really signaling a change for the way in which we treat obesity. We're now looking at it as a disease, and it's something that's lifelong. There's some people that are naturally thin. I know people like that, and they couldn't get fat if they tried. Their metabolism is high, and they eat anything they want, and they stay thin. Yes, all that, not a pound. They're drinking Boost and Sustacal and Ensure, and they just cannot gain a pound. Then there's people who struggle with their weight, they gain weight, and they can't lose it. They keep trying, or they'll lose 10 and they'll gain 15. They'll lose 20, they'll gain 25. Back and forth, that yo-yo. I lost 1,000 pounds over the course of time, right? And so what researchers in the field of obesity are starting to recognize and have recognized is that there's some people genetically who have this propensity towards obesity. And so we need to treat this like a disease and not like a failure. Instead of shaming people, we need to help them because they have a problem. It's just like blaming somebody for being a diabetic, blaming somebody for having high blood pressure, blaming somebody for having cancer. You wouldn't do that. And so obesity needs to now be classified in that same way. And so now they're looking at medications to treat this the way they do diabetes and hypertension and all the other ailments that people struggle with. And so that's where the use of this drug came to pass. It's in a class of medication called GLP-1 agonists. And you don't ever have to remember that. That's my job. But it has an effect on the GLP-1 receptors in your body. And there's some in your brain, some in your gut. That's the way in which this medication works, stabilizing your blood sugar. Because see, when your blood sugar shoots up, when you eat a lot of sugar or carbohydrates, that then causes your pancreas to secrete insulin. That insulin is what then takes the sugar that you've eaten, now that it's been broken down into your small intestine, and pushes it into your cells and stores it as fat. So we want to stabilize that. So you slow down that release of insulin, and it keeps your blood sugar stable. It also gives you a sense of fullness because it slows down what we call gastric motility, how fast the food moves out of your stomach. It stays in there longer, so you have a feeling of fullness. So all of these things are working together at the same time to give you this overall feeling of, I'm good. Okay, I can eat a little something, and then when you go to eat, you're kind of like, you feel like you just ate more than you really did eat. And that's where the weight loss comes in. It's absolutely amazing. And so far, patients have done very well. on this, and the because of the way in which it works, the side effects are more gastrointestinal in nature, meaning your gut. So some people will experience nausea. Some people will have a little stomach cramp. That's the reason why we start you low and we titrate you up. We don't just hit you with the highest dose right away because your body's not ready for it. And so it's gradual. Yeah.
You know how you always say there is no stupid question?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to test that.
Oh, no.
So, you know how when patients are being considered for bypass surgery,
Yes.
gastric bypass, things like that, so they often have to hit certain metrics to be eligible.
Yes.
You know, to get a certain state of health
That's right.
before they can. Does that apply at all to this particular diet?
In terms of being a candidate for this diet?
Yes.
No. As a matter of fact, the heavier you are, the better. Because this is for everybody that needs to lose weight. When you're looking at bariatric surgery, the reason for that is, first of all, they want to see that you are able to modulate your eating. You know, that you're just not completely out of control, because you can't eat your way back up after you've had bariatric surgery. So they want to see some discipline on your part. The other part is the fact that if you're morbidly obese, you're a high risk for surgery. And so the anesthesiologist doesn't want to put you under, you know, because they're worried about how you're going to do well, you know, with the surgery. And the surgeon would rather cut through a little bit less fat, if at all possible. So that's the reason why when it comes to bariatric surgery, there are some things that will be put on the patient in advance of surgery to try to make them a better candidate for the procedure. But when it comes to this, the fatter you are, the better, you know?
So we're not worried about adverse effects of rapid weight loss?
No, not at all. Not at all. And the only concern I would have would be if you'd had any kind of GI diseases, you know, if you'd had like a lot of bowel obstruction, things like that, where, you know, you've had adhesions and, you know, your bowel is blocked in the past, we would be very cautious with you. Now, the other contraindication for this medication is a history of thyroid cancer, or something called MEN2, or it's an endocrine disorder, multiple endocrine neoplasia type 2. And so if you have any history of that, then we would not want you to be on this diet. Now, it's only because when they did the studies, there was a couple of mice that had problems with thyroid cancer. And so now they have to extrapolate that out. The FDA makes you put those kind of warnings, you know, on medication.
In case you're a rat.
In case you're a rat, you know, exactly right. Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've got a little thyroid in there. Yes, indeed. So, you know, but other than that, you know, it's pretty well tolerated. The most important thing is just titrating it up slowly, starting out at a low dose and then gradually increasing it so that you're able to tolerate the medication. You know, the side effects are generally more GI, so the nausea, sometimes some cramping, some diarrhea if you're a little bit too aggressive with the food. And you heard Almisha earlier in the show talk about how she went to Whataburger and tried to eat that hamburger, and then she had that feeling like she was going to throw up. And so what I tell my patients when they start this program is that you're going to learn. You are going to learn, yes, because if you eat too much, you're going to see it again. Okay, it might not look real good the way you see it, but you will see it again, whether it's coming through your mouth or coming through your rectum, because your body is only able to handle so much food. It's really so much like bariatric surgery without, you know, the actual surgery. And so that's what's got all of us so excited. And we've got a caller on the line, but I do want to give you this because I know everybody's sitting here listening wanting to know, how much does it cost? And the cost is $125 a week, which comes out to $500 a month. And so that's what you would pay when you come in. It's $500 a month for the first couple of months. And then as we titrate you higher, it could go up to $550 because we're using more medication. And I'm getting it from a special compounding pharmacy. And so that's where the slight price increase goes. But, you know, that old expression, nothing tastes as good as thin feels. How bad do you want it? You know, exactly. And this is a drug that is FDA approved specifically for obesity. So they know, they've done the research. They know that this works. So you're not, you know, not guessing. You're not trying to do like a keto diet where it's really not FDA approved, or the Atkins diet. It's not FDA approved. Yep, you're the queen, right? You know, this is actually FDA approved for obesity because it works. Okay, let's go to our phone lines. We've got our next caller on the line. Hello there. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. How can we help?
Man, you can help me a whole lot of things.
Hey, Big E, first of all, can you turn your radio down for me, please?
Now, you hear me good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If there's any such thing as too much medicine,
Of course. Absolutely.
well, I got about 7 or 8.
You really do. You have about 7 or 8 medications that you're taking?
Yes, ma'am. I'm taking a Panatrol, Hydroxyantopr.
Okay, that's for stomach problems like reflux, indigestion kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
That makes you feel
Pantoprazole. That's right. Okay. What else do you take?
potassium,
Okay, potassium.
clotidine,
Say that one again.
clotidine.
Oh, clonidine. Okay, for your blood pressure. Okay.
Okay, I'm taking hydrolysine.
Okay, for your pressure. Okay.
Okay, I'm taking verapamil.
For your pressure. Okay.
That's what I said. And atenolol, is that what?
Atenolol.
Yeah.
Okay, that's beta blocker. ATENELOL.
No, Mom. ALLOUPUR.
Oh, allopurinol. Allopurinol. That's for gout.
Yeah, okay. Then,
Mm-hmm.
FERROUS.
Okay, ferrosulfate. That's iron. Okay.
Okay, then got here LEVETIRACAM.
Spell that one again.
Levitin for something for your brain, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
LEVETIR.
LEVETIR. Oh, okay, yes. All right. Have you had any issues with like seizures or any kind of brain issues?
No, I had that about 2 years ago,
Okay.
but I was just wondering about all these other medicine.
Yeah. Well, you're on a lot, my brother. You are on a lot of medications: clonidine, hydrolysine, verapamil. How's your blood pressure?
Well, last time I went to the doctor's 118 over 58.
18 over 58. Oh,
118.
oh, okay. I'm like, what are you doing talking to me?
God.
Okay, 118 over 58.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that your top number is okay, 118, but that bottom number is a little low. You'll really shoot for 80. Have you talked to your doctor about being on all these meds?
Yeah, and I've been trying to get off of them for 2 or 3 years. I think it's a minute.
Well, you're on a lot of medicines, and they all work in different ways to control your blood pressure. How old are you?
I'll be 88, I hope in November I make it.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I'm impressed. Yep, it sounds like you probably need them. If you're able to be alive at 88, yes. But don't discontinue the medications without having instruction from your doctor. Okay.
Go get what?
They said don't just stop taking the medications on your own. You need to let your work with your doctor. I know it's a lot of medicines, but it sounds like you must need it, my brother.
Well, if you want, whether you believe it or not, I'm in my back room, back in the bedroom, and I'm about to freeze to death. And you know what the temperature is outdoors.
When was the last time you watched a Lena Horne movie?
Oh, now you're getting to my business. Cause now Paris can do you out.
No, my parents, you're famous. We know.
Oh, Paris can do you out what?
Biggie, we thank you for your call. We only got a few minutes left with the good doctor here, so we're gonna get on. But thank you so much. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for calling. Oh, that's sweet. So, I want to just take a moment to explain to y'all why I care so much about the weight loss issue. Of course, everybody wants to look thin and look, sexy and hot and all that, so you can make your Instagram pictures, but weight loss or being obese, let's put it that way, is related to hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, which leads to heart attacks. It creates inflammation inside of your body, and that's the the foundation for things like cancer. People with strokes, tend to have an issue with the obesity, and people under a lot of stress. Obesity can cause stress, and stress can cause obesity. They're very much interconnection. And the issue is that when your stress levels are high, it affects your immune system. And your immune system is what really acts as like your security guards that goes all throughout your body to just make sure everything is cool, everything is copacetic. And so if your immune system is jacked up because of stress, then your ability to fight off infections really goes down. Your ability to fight off cancer goes down. People who are under a lot of stress, people who are obese, don't do very well when they have COVID. We know that. Anything that affects your immune system is going to be negative. So that's why it's so important that you really look long and hard at losing weight and getting yourself into an ideal body weight. In addition to those things, some people don't connect it, but osteoarthritis is also connected to obesity. And, if you're walking around 300-400 pounds, you're blowing your joints out. The body's not intended to carry that much weight on those joints, whether it's your hips, your back, or your knees. And, I remember as a young girl, a lady who used to go to my church, her family, she had kids that were like our age, and so we all knew each other growing up, and she was morbidly obese. And at some point, I do remember that she had to go into the hospital to have a hip replacement because she had blown her hips out. She was easily 400 pounds, and it got to the point where she was just not mobile anymore, and so she had to have surgery to have the hip replacement. And so she went in, had the surgery, and then she wound up throwing a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot to her lungs, and she died. And, we were all devastated by that. And it all started because of years and years of obesity. And so that's why obesity can kill you in ways that you don't even think it will, And I know that, in our society now, we have a lot of tolerance for women being overweight, being fat, and all the thick. That's the new word, thick. They don't want to call you fat, so they say you're thick. But there are some real health consequences to carrying too much body weight, and unintended consequences that you don't even think about. I just never forget that lady. She was like the kindest, most salt of the earth woman, and she wound up passing away. And the reality was, people her size. Well, first of all, when you have a major joint replacement and you're in the hospital, you're at risk for blood clots. Okay, that's one of the things that surgeons are always vigilant about. They're better at it now than they were back then, but that's an issue. Anytime you have any kind of hip replacement or knee replacement, it's blood clots. And she wound up passing away, and her family was devastated. They were never the same after that. She was really the whole center of the family. And so when she left, it really kind of scattered the kids. They all sort of fell apart. Obesity is a problem in Houston, but do you know the most overweight city in the United States? Do you know where it is?
Number 3,
It's McAllen, Texas.
overweight city in Texas.
No, in the U.S.
In the U.S.,
McAllen. And what are they eating over there? Is that what it is? Man, I was shocked when I saw it. Carbs. The most overweight city in the United States, McAllen, Texas. I know, I was shocked. I checked several sources to make sure that was the case. But yes, and we're seeing this in children now. It's nothing to see a child with the body of an adult, in terms of their weight. And parents out there that are feeding their kids all of these foods, lots of snacks. Did you? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And see, the thing is, kids are eating all those snacks, but they're not exercising. Do they even have gym in school anymore? Do they have gym? They must be out there just walking or trolling or doing something.
They're probably not dressing up, working out.
Yeah,
Just chilling.
I used to remember playing dodgeball, and softball.
Yeah, I remember kickball.
Yeah, I was sweating, I remember when we used to play softball, everybody would get away from me because I would sling the bat.
That was you.
That was me. That was me. Everybody got behind the fence. It was my turn. I could not hold that bat for the life of me. It's that left-handedness, exactly. I couldn't do it, and I missed. Didn't even hit the ball. Just swinging, But it was a great workout, But I was skinny as a bean back then, So, I mean, everybody knew, oh, here she comes. They go running and get behind that fence because I'd put your eye out in a minute.
Man, I forgot about it.
Yep, that was me.
They call you out. You sling the bat, right?
I know. I was, hey, listen, they already knew, okay? The only thing I was really good at was track and field. I was a fast runner. And I could beat the boys, I mean, I had I still have long legs, and I was like an ostrich. I could run to beat the man, but no, I couldn't hit that ball. I don't think I could hit it now. I never could do that. I mean, there's something about that, Everybody's got their thing, just the thing. That was my thing. I'm a little traumatized by that, because everybody else could hit the ball, but I could not hit the ball. Yeah, well, see, they probably had me on the wrong side of the plate. That could have been it. And they didn't know how to handle a left-handed person. It's just like when I tried to learn how to play golf, I didn't understand, how to swing, and I swung and it hit the ground, with the club. I mean, it missed the ball, but I hit the ground, and that shock from hitting the ground went all the way up my arm and fractured my elbow.
Oh, wow.
So I was done. I was done. It's kind of like when I went skiing, when I went on a black diamond by accident for the first time. I just learned how to ski like that day. And, while I was on a black diamond, it took me 4 hours to get down there. And a couple of times I really thought about just giving up. Just find my body. Yeah, beautiful scenery, the sun going down.
You've been good.
Yeah, so, there are some things that I'm really, really good at, like taking care of sick people. Oh, yeah. I got that down, but swinging to hit the ball, baseball, don't ask me to play. That's not me. And I'm a pretty good cook, too. I enjoy cooking. I love that. I love that. And I wish that more people would cook their own food and not go out to these fast food restaurants and just, I'm amazed when I drive home and I see the cars wrapped around all of these fast food restaurants. That's just the way people eat. And you are not going to get fiber. You're not going to get it when you're eating that fast food. It's just not good for your gut. And that's really also what leads to obesity. So we're just about done. I guess the time has gone by so fast. But, the semaglutide diet or the SG diet is something that I'm excited about. I want you guys to know about it. If you would like to learn more about it, the cost is $500 a month to start. And my office number is 936-224-7990. Again, that's 936-224-7990. And we will be happy to talk with you about the diet, answer any questions.
What's the phone number now?
Oh, one more time.
Please.
936-224-7990. And as we go out,
do you have a website there?
I do. It's Winnie King MD. So that's www.winniekingmd.com. And you can learn all that you need to know about our services and what we do. And I'm really excited because we're going to be at the National Black Expo at the end of the month. Yeah, exciting.
We're excited. So if you're interested in that, you can also contact our office.
Yeah.
That's
For CJ. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be great. And that's out in Las Vegas. Here.
August 27th and 28th, of course, that celebrity.
Ooh, yes.
But the 27th, Black National Expo.
Yeah.
Black Music Awards.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. Well, thank you, and I'm excited to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. But our time is up. I thank you for yours, and I want you guys to remember what I said about driving. Slow down, take it easy, don't drive crazy, arrive alive, and take care of each other. Stay dry, stay cool, and we'll be back next week. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, there we go. Thank you for joining us today. Bye.